Bandai Namco just dropped what might be one of the most targeted game announcements of all time, Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes. Memory of Heroes is a Kamen Rider character action game starring Kamen Rider Double, Oz, and 01. Who picks these three riders? Well, I would take a solid guess to say only two people in the whole wide world, and those two people would be the director, obviously, and me. Seriously, my three favorite riders, two of which were my first one, and the other one whose series is rapidly skyrocketing towards my number one spot for its relevance towards my entire college years. But this video is meant to help you get excited and hyped for these characters. When I saw the trailer, I quickly saw in my head how each one would likely play, and hopefully a little theory crafting and explanation will get you to see why these three may have also been the perfect choices gameplay-wise too. First off, I believe this game is going to be based around 3 buttons. To compare it to the daddy of character action, Devil May Cry's 3 buttons could be considered melee, gun, special. However, here I believe they'll likely be punch, kick, and special at first, but we'll get there. To help explain what I mean, we'll use 01 as our first example. We actually see the least of him in the trailer, but if I had to take a guess, he'll be the Nero of this game. His combat system will be the most simplistic, but have the deepest additions to it, basically sacrificing breadth of moves for depth in the moveset. He'll have his basic punches and kicks on the appropriate buttons, and the special button will likely be reliant on whichever form he's in, much like how Nero's busters work for his special button. In this shot, we see him using the attaché blade in his base form, which, along with a later shot we'll get to, makes me believe that this will be his special button when in Rising Hopper. However, if you were in, say, Flaming Tiger, you may shoot flames. Biting Shark may have extended whip-like moves. Metal Cluster Hopper, which we do see in the trailer, may either use his upgraded sword or shoot out the metallic grasshoppers to make a shield. Yeah, that's pretty basic and could be used for a lot of newer riders, but 01 is the current rider, and I also like what the director said about him sharing the same sense of justice as the other two. But I'll also do a bit at the end as to why, under this system, other riders may be too unruly. Alright, next I want to look at Oz, as I think he'll be closer to the base than Double will. If we look at O's coins, we can basically map them to the buttons already. Punch for chest, kick for legs, and special for head. Interestingly, we don't actually see any mixed forms outside of Tatoba, which I've come to think leans a lot of credence to this idea. Keeping it to only combos means that your special is based on that combo. For example, in 2 fighting scenes we see with Tatoba, we see his basic combo is the Tiger Claws, the punch button, but we later see him bust out the sword with a special ability, since Taka doesn't really have one on its own. Just before this shot, we see what is likely Sagozo's, with him pounding his chest to trap his enemies in front of him. Gatakiri Ba may very well be akin to Dante's doppelganger in DMC3, with the special button controlling the spawned clones. And we may even see Tajadors with him sprouting wings to take flight. Okay, shot in the dark time though. Given that the canonical power of the combos in O's and their seeming strength in the game, seriously, you can't just have that many clones on screen at any given time, I think the combos will act as a mix of style switching and something like Dante's Devil Trigger. Based on the announcement, I think the rider power system will have a big effect on how this theory plays out. They say it's used for dodging, powerful attacks, potentially your special button, and assessing the battlefield. This could be something like Dark Souls and Monster Hunter's stamina system, which means combos may mimic Monster Hunter's Dual Blades Demon Mode, where it rapidly devours your stamina as you use it, but you can go in and out of it at any time. However, if it's more like a special meter that you build up, Oz might build up his special meter, the rider power, a bit faster than the other two and can pop it to use a combo for as long as the meter lasts, instead of having several super moves like the other two. This would still allow him to switch modes like the other two without having it be broken. If I had to take a guess though, I guess it's going to be the stamina system though, as that allows for more free changing with the chain system that they've got going. Last, but certainly not least, Double. I saved him for last because I think there's one super obvious change to the gameplay buttons that would make the most sense, but also make it the most complicated. Changing punch and kick to left half and right half. For the easiest example of what I mean, and the clip that started the whole PKS system in my mind, watch this first fight scene. Notice that all the kicks are only coming from the cyclone half? That's probably what would happen if you only used that kick/right button. But jump forward and we see two more interesting scenes. Luna grappling and the form chain. In the first clip, we see the grapple used for traversal, but I would not be shocked if Luna keeps this trait as its replacement for kicks, acting like Nero's grapple and pulling the enemy to you or you to the enemy based on size. Similarly, Heat likely has its own unique attribute to it that would be a replacement for the kicks too. Perhaps it ignites your weapon or shoots a small cone of fire to do continuous little damage like Bowser's neutral B in Smash. So what about the left side? Well, thanks to the form chain clip, we finally see a left side attack that, despite not seeing too much of it, is probably going to be the crux of Double's gameplay loop. Basically think of the left side as your weapon and the right side as your style. Based on what pair you have, you'll primarily use your right for combat, with the left half providing a different flavor to the moveset and stylistic flair on that button. For more evidence, we see Kamen Rider Joker in several shots. That means that the Joker half can't just be useless, even though we've only seen Cyclone do the work. So if you have Cyclone on the right, it will always be those kicks. If you have Luna there, it will always be the grapple. Same for the left half. Joker will likely always have a punching combo. Metal has the staff, and Trigger has the gun. The combination will only affect the traits of the left side weapon like it does in the show. We can even see that here with Heat Metal, where the staff has a fire effect when swung, so we can guess that Luna Metal will have it whip around more, for example. Also, how can you see this bizarre move and attribute it to anything other than a special button? Which may actually mean each combo may have its own special button attack like this Cyclone effect. There you have it. That's how I'm guessing these three characters will fight. But why them over others? Well, they each have a wide enough variety of abilities that are comparable to each other, and not too many to get out of hand. Build could conceivably work in this system, but even keeping it only to the best matches would be way too much to handle. Heroez would feel the same way and also need a whole different button system for left and right arms and legs. More simple riders like Wizard, Drive, and Ghost could work like 0-1 with their special buttons being Magic, the Tire, or an Icon, but why would you choose them over the new hotness? Geo would only make people angry because they'd want the other riders instead of just one homage move. Gaim and pretty much everyone before Double just don't have the diversity in movesets that could make them wild and variable to play as like Double and O's. Den-O and Kiva are kinda close, but only have a handful of options. But what do you think? Who would you want to see playable in the future as potential DLC? Did my potential gameplay breakdown make you even more excited or more overwhelmed? Let me know down below. And while you're down there, if you like this, why not subscribe? And maybe even leave a like if you're feeling like it. I won't force you. Alright, I hope you have a great day, and man, I'm excited for this game.